You're watching Risk Africa TV. I'm Karima Brown. I am a radio and television presenter and journalist. I think the insurance industry is not helping us in drawing young people into the economy because it makes it very hard for them to access finance. And that is one of the biggest problems that we have. We have graduates who are basically in debt. They live from one credit card to the next. And of course, they are the ones that carry the burden. We have an unemployment problem on a scale that is dangerous. We have a poverty problem which is generational, but our biggest problem is actually our inequality problem. And unless we deal with inequality, we aren't going to solve the others. And I think that business needs to begin to think a bit more long term. So let's take the land question, for example. Overseas investors understand that if citizens don't own the land in their country, the majority of them, then you can't expect the country to be stable. But domestic investors panic about the idea that the majority of South Africans must actually have a stake in the land, whether it is subsistence farming, whether it's a commercial farm, whether it's a title deed to a house in a township. They must have a stake in the place of their birth. And we see that as risk as business people. We want to take our money elsewhere. It's a very short-sighted way of looking at developing a sustainable country, especially a country as richly diverse as we are in terms of mineral resources. 80% of the world's platinum is here. We've got shale gas now. We've got a whole range of resources. We've got an incredible banking system, the best on the continent. It survived the 2008 global financial crisis. So my challenge has always been to South African investors, and that historically has been white investors, that don't actually want to take that 600 and odd billion that people constantly speak about that is stashed away in banks and invest it actually in the future of the country. Foreign investors are often a lot more excited about the prospects of South Africa and understand the need for historical redress better than local business people. And I think that has to do with the fact that there's a trust deficit. I think we haven't had exemplary political leadership, not just in the governing party, but across the country and across the spectrum. And I think that business people need to begin to articulate their own vision, but that vision cannot be one where they basically have a short-term approach. You have to be in it for the long haul. You know, one of the things that I asked your keynote speaker is to tell us how the insurance industry is dealing with crises and insurance around what is often termed as natural disasters, because we see in the world today that the world's refugee population is increasing not only because of war and displacement, but because of ecological disasters. So to what extent are you, for example, investing in the kind of energy that is premised on the understanding that our energy resources are not endless, that the resources on the planet is finite? And I think that is a conversation that must be had with developing countries, particularly such as Africa, because if you look at the rapid industrialization that needs to take place, if you're just going to rip out trees in a place that historically provides breaks for things like gale force winds and so on, like you see in places like China, then you're going to have displacement. Then you're going to have your industry not knowing what kind of products to develop for people that will be affected, for businesses that will be affected by supposed natural disasters that are actually man-made. And I think for me, that is the biggest challenge that faces the insurance industry. We need to come up with financial products that realizes that we need to have regulations in economic development and growth that ties in with the idea that the ecology and the climate and the sustainability of the world is something that we all have to invest in. One of the problems is also that in a lot of developing countries such as Africa, you need people to understand why insurance is necessary. You need financial literacy. You need people to save. You need people to understand that there's a reason why monies have to be put away for the future, whether it's for education, whether it's for retirement, whether it is for investment purposes, whether it is to insure you against natural disasters or accidents. I think there isn't enough education around that. So I think financial literacy and education around the necessity for a cushion to soften the blow when things happen, whether it's illness or unemployment or displacement or theft, or whatever it is that people insure themselves for, that those things are necessary. The problem that I have with most insurers is that the rich get all the perks and the poor people pay for those perks. So if you take insurance, or if you take even big telephone companies, cell phone companies, the pay-as-you-go people pay more, so that the people like ourselves who have contracts can have these unimaginable perks. Why are we giving free things to rich people? Why are we making it harder for poor people to actually be economically active and involved? And I think we need to invert that pyramid, because the 1% is constantly rewarded by the economic model, including the insurance model, rather than the majority.